Hello, everyone. Let me know if you see me. This is going to be a little bit more unique of a live. I am going live into my main profile. So these interviews are always exciting, and I'm always very excited to want to show off all these ladies who've done amazing. So I am in my main profile, just posted an announcement in the Fierce Women community. I know normally I'm in the Fierce Women community live, but we're going to go live from the main profile so that more people can see and cheer on these amazing ladies. I do see 2 eyeballs, 8 eyeballs are with me. And if anyone knows other people are looking within the group, just direct them here or tag them on it. I'll also actually just highlight it if I can, going live. And then hopefully more people can find us. Okay, awesome. Super excited. We have 9 eyeballs with us. I know people are probably looking for it because I don't usually go live, but I do go live on main profile when we are interviewing some of our fabulous ladies. And right now, Yvonne Heller and Kathleen Swiston is in the waiting room. They are ready. They're excited to share their experiences with all of you. And I know all of Facebook is watching this. So hi, Facebook. Men, women, everybody. This is awesome. I am excited to do this meeting or this interview for all of you. So we're just making sure we can see everyone here. I see Vijaya, Wanda, Colleen, Jaylin, Wanda. Okay, if you're with me, can you drop a hello just so I know that you're with me and we know who is joining us in this wonderful interview. Okay, if you are here or if you're just watching, you're popping in from Facebook, this is an interview with Yvonne Heller and Kathleen Swiston. The topic is combating aging and menopause. So if you don't know, my group, Fierce Woman Community, is all about helping menopausal women combat the menopausal symptoms, bring down the belly, and help you start to lose weight and build fierce, strong muscles. And so we are interviewing a couple of our fierce ladies who just are finishing their group coaching program, which is the Fierce Factor Formula program. Okay, so this is something that we're going to have lots of fun with. I see lots of people coming in. Hi, Rosalinda. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Janice. Lots of people cheering for you already, Yvonne and Kathleen. Awesome. All right. So before we dive into this exciting interview, we're going to do a quick some wins. Okay. So first of all, give a huge shout out or lots of hearts to Angela Graham. Angela Graham is registered into the next FFF program, Fierce Factor Formula program that we're actually talking about. And Angela has been a part of our community for a long time. So I'm so proud of her for finally making that decision to cross the line and join in the program. So Angela, if you're on here, congratulations. Also a huge shout out to Natalie Chabot. I might have said that wrong. She is also going into the FFF program, so give her lots of hearts as well. So as of right now, I believe we have 4 or 5 already registered in the next program, and it's gonna be a fun last program. We're doing the last program of 2023. This is the last FFF program round, and then obviously we'll see what 2024 brings, right? So because today, hi Marcella, you found us. I know some people are trying to look for us right now. So we're going to do a quick win celebration of all our FFF ladies. It is going to be even better next week because this is their last week. So the wins I'm actually talking about are 7 weeks of their progress. Okay. Now there are other ladies in the FFF program, just that they couldn't make it onto this interview. So I wanted to give them a shout out as well. So hi, Vivian, good to see you. Yes, Tracy is in the FF program, couldn't be on tonight. She is working. She has lost 24.78 inches off her body and 5.5 inches off her waist and hip area, which is awesome. I've seen your pictures, Tracy, and your midsection is just slimmed right down, which is really great. Shoulders are looking awesome. thighs are leaner. There's a bigger gap right in between your thighs. I was looking at that, and you've lost 5.3 pounds. So this is Tracy. Give her lots of hearts. Cheer on Tracy. I know she is very excited, and she wanted to be on this interview actually, but just couldn't make it on. Yeah, Tracy's done awesome. And Wanda just gave you yay, Tracy, because Wanda's going into the next FFF. Super excited for you, Wanda. Awesome. Hi, Kathy. And then Kathy Machalico. Kathy Machalico is very unique situation. She went through FFF last year, and she did really well, brought down her belly. Then she did another 6 months of muscle accelerator. And then she took a break. Then she did 21-day anti-inflammation system. So she's dedicated. She dropped a lot of the inflammation and belly through that program, then went into a second round of FFF. And so super proud of you, Kathy. She's already had a lot of inflammation dropped and belly dropped from before, but she's lost another 10.5 inches. So give Kathy lots of hearts. She's in Australia. So there is about a 17-hour difference. And Kathy somehow still always makes it work for her program. So lots of hearts out to you, Kathy, because I know you're very dedicated. She has a very specific, unique program for her in FFF since it's her round 2. So she got to work on a lot of pull-ups. Let me tell you, she got a harder program because this was her second round in FFF. So really, really great. Congratulations, Kathy. Yes, awesome. I see 13 eyeballs. And again, Angels or anybody else, if you see people in the main group still looking for us, because I think sometimes they're in the group looking for us, just make sure you tag them or let them know we're here. All right. And then the last two are the 2 stars of tonight. Okay. So we have Kathleen. So Kathleen has lost 26.6 inches. This is in just 7 weeks, right? And 16.3 pounds. So she's really dropped a lot coming down in her completely, like her body's just shrunk. She has lost about 7 inches off her waist and hip area. So like the whole midsection, counting the waist and hip. But I know she's lost more. And the reason is she didn't take the two belly, 2 fingers above and 2 fingers below measurements. So if we did, I know for sure that would have been more than 7 inches. And if you look at her pictures, which we'll post more later, it's like her midsection has really shrunk in. And we are going to post next week a side picture of Kathleen. She has a major butt lift. Her butt is a different shape right now, Kathleen. So she's watching in the waiting room. Your body has been transformed and lifted. So we're really proud of you, Kathleen. Hi, Tina, you found us. So awesome, Kathleen. And then Yvonne, who's also going to be on this interview. She has lost, you guys are ready? You guys ready? You guys are gonna give her lots of hearts. She has lost a whopping 46.77 inches, and over 10 inches off her midsection. Now she's lost more than 10 inches. I know this. Again, she didn't take the 2 fingers above, 2 fingers below measurements. If we did, that area would be more than 10 inches. So just amazing. Now Yvonne has lost 46.77 inches, like lots of inches off her body, and 5 pounds, which isn't bad. But anytime someone loses more inches than pounds, it indicates massive inflammation. And this is something that I know that Yvonne today will probably speak a lot about, is how dropping a lot of that inflammation has changed a lot of her life, right? Because that amount of inches coming off means she's really bloated, really inflamed in her system, right? Yeah. Wanda's like, holy cow. I love all your comments, Wanda. Thank you. And Marcella says, wow, Yvonne, which is so awesome. And these ladies have overcome a lot mentally, emotionally, but I will let them introduce themselves as they come in. So if all of you who are watching today, if you're wondering about the Fierce Factor formula, and if I say FFF throughout this interview, that's what it means, Fierce Factor formula, which is our group coaching program. And this group coaching program, we always take in a small cohort of women. Usually we will max around 8. Right now we already have 4 maybe, or 5, 4 to 5 registers. So we only have a few spots left. And so this program uses my Fierce Woman DNA methodology to address menopausal symptoms, to address inflammation, bring down the belly, and help you start to build fierce, strong muscles. So we are in the current uptake for a few more spots. So if you're wanting to learn more about the FFF program, put FFF below and we will reach out to you to see if it's right fit, talk about what it is all about. So put FFF below if you want to learn more on that. Okay. So before I bring in Oshone, sorry, I'm thinking of Oshone. This is why I bring in the ladies. I wanted to give a shout out to Oshone, okay? And those of you who know Oshone, you know how amazing she is. And I really want to give a shout out to Oshone because she is the coach of the FFF program currently. And, you know, the amazing results of what these ladies have accomplished is because of her. And I want to make sure that we give credit to where credit is due. She is a phenomenal coach. I know ladies that have had the opportunity to have her coach you. You guys know that. She puts in a lot of effort. I know behind the scenes how much work she puts in on a daily basis, how much she cares. She monitors really carefully each person's log and food logs, and because we really detail analyze your food and your situation. And she's always coming to me if there's anything she's unsure about. And so she's just a super hardworking, diligent, and herself. If you have not seen her her physique, you know she knows her stuff. She's competed in 5 competition shows and has done 5 years of training with me and done another online program with me. So she definitely understands everything inside out of like what it takes to work with menopausal women. And so if you are to register or we accept you into the FF program, you would be having the opportunity to work with her. I actually wanted to bring her on today. However, Oshone is not feeling well. So unfortunately, I couldn't bring her on, but I just really wanted to make sure to give her a huge shout out. So if you guys know Oshone or you guys like have had the opportunity to talk with her, even on the phone, as she does a lot of those calls, please give her lots of hearts. So everyone just give lots of hearts, put Oshone, send lots of like, hit the like button, the love button, give her lots of hearts because I think she really deserves it. You know, and I just wanted to make sure that she gets that recognition because yes, I run this entire community, but I cannot do it without amazing people in the background, right? And so I just really want to make sure to give her that shout out and to know that what you hear from the ladies tonight is a large part because of her coaching in the background with Kathleen and Yvonne and all of these ladies that I talked about, right? So make sure you give her lots of hearts, okay? Yeah, I see Chiquita jumped in, Sue jumped in, awesome. And yes, Rosalinda giving Oshone lots of hearts. She definitely deserves that. So I'm about to invite them in, okay, for the interview, but I just want to say, so who is this interview for, okay? So if you are jumping in or you're watching this, this interview, for me, the biggest thing is to help provide hope to all the ladies who are going through menopause, who, you know, just suddenly their body's changing. They're starting to like feel like not themselves. And suddenly you're gaining weight, you're gaining the belly, you have aches and pains in your bodies. And we talk to hundreds of women every single week from our Fierce Women community in this age range. And I think a lot of women are in pain. They don't know like why. They don't know why they feel so, you know, crappy. They don't know why their body is changing this way, or they just feel like kind of giving up like hope, like my body's just gonna be like this, right? It's just gonna, I'm just always gonna have a belly. I'm just gonna always, you know, and so, you know, talking with hundreds of you, it to thousands actually now, thousands of women over these years. My biggest hope is that when I interview these ladies, it helps you be able to see that it is possible to change that. Just because you're 40, 50, 60, even 70, the oldest I've trained is 70 years old, does not mean you can't have good health and lean body, flat stomach, and a fierce, strong body with muscles, right? So I just want to make sure you guys know that. And are you guys ready for Yvonne and Kathleen? So if you guys are ready, give them lots of heart, cheer them on as I bring them in. I'm going to bring them in so that they can pop on in here to start the interview. So let me just make sure. Um, all right, I think they are popping in. I see lots of hearts. Yes, I see Kathleen popped on in here. And Yvonne as well. Yes, you are showing up live there, your beautiful faces. Yep, there's Yvonne just popping up on the screen there. Awesome, awesome. Ladies, thank you so much for popping in and doing this interview with us. I know it's your night and you're taking the night to obviously be on here. So thank you, Kathleen and Yvonne. You guys have lots of hearts coming in right now. People are excited to hear the two of you. So we're going to start with having each of you introduce yourself, just so the audience gets to know you two a little bit better. Just the low of your background, your age, like how long you've been in menopause, and sort of some of your family background, what you do, just some of those things. So whoever wants to go first, you guys can go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. I'm Yvonne. I'm 61. I turned 61 2 weeks ago. I've been in menopause since I'm 42. I had a hysterectomy.
Right.
So it's been a while.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. My ethnicity is Puerto Rican. I'm fluent in Spanish and dance.
Yes, I want to dance right away when you say that.
I have 2 kids, a boy and a girl, a husband.
Yeah, they're all grown up, your kids, obviously.
Yeah. 30 and 27.
30 and 27. Wow, amazing, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And whereabouts are you located, Yvonne?
I'm in Georgia.
Georgia. Okay.
Georgia,
awesome.
An hour north of Atlanta.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. And something fun that people want to know about you? Anything?
When I had a pool, I used to swim every day, and I like reading and gardening. And I used to run half marathons until 2020.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 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 You used to do marathons. I remember you saying that. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. And what about you, Kathleen?
My name is Kathleen. I'm 63. I've been in menopause, probably for about 9 years. I'm mostly through it. It just left me with, I'm just left with the hot sweats in the belly, but I'm getting rid of the belly.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm in BC. I grew up in Winnipeg. I've got 4 daughters, 10 grandkids. And yeah. And excuse me, I always tell everybody my big claim to fame. I think I told you this, Clarice, is that I was hit by lightning and survived.
Yes.
So I kind of see myself as a survivor. So that's kind of been my theme in my life.
Yeah, that is I would say a fun fact, but it's not so fun. Like as in like that interesting fact. And
interesting,
God definitely has a plan for you to still be here. That's amazing.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. And 10 grandkids. You're very, very blessed. And
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. So let me ask each of you. I'm sure the audience, 17 eyeballs now watching you. But we usually, just so you know, these interviews, I remember Rosalinda's on here. Rosalinda's a live interview on the main page got over like 800 views. So eventually there's lots of people will be seeing this. This is going to be awesome. But I'm sure everyone's wondering, especially people who are going through menopause, is like, what was some of your struggles like before starting this FFF program? Like, what were you struggling with in your health that really bothered you? So yeah, whoever wants to go first.
My arthritis, I have really bad arthritis, and it has improved with eliminating a lot of junk that's in the food that we don't know about and we don't realize that we're eating every day. And that's what Clarice teaches us, how to get rid of our inflammation and to read labels and to be knowledgeable. And my asthma got better also. I haven't been on my asthma medicine in about 2 weeks. So
right. Yeah, really your asthma has improved and the arthritis has improved.
Oh, and my blood pressure. My blood pressure is Yeah, I had to do a double take when she told me it was 114/76, and I made her do it again because
Yeah,
my numbers are like 196/96, and it's
right.
very, yeah, so it's gone down a lot.
Yes, usually, yeah, usually it's pretty high, but now it's really dropped.
Hmm.
And yes, if Tracy was on here, Tracy Liang, same thing. Like as she was in FFF program, her blood pressure kept dropping from really high to like coming
Hmm.
down. And that was a lot of taking out the inflammation, like you said. Your arthritis have really improved, and your
Hmm.
asthma has
Yes.
really improved. Yeah,
My
yeah.
migraines have gone away.
Were you getting regular migraines, I guess? Yeah.
Right.
Was that kind of like, did your migraines start like ever since you started menopause, or just you've always had like migraines?
I think it started when I had started menopause because I never had them as a younger person.
Right, right,
So yeah, and they got worse as I got older.
right. Yeah,
And I haven't taken a migraine medicine in weeks.
right.
Except for the
Awesome.
first week I went through sugar withdrawal. That was it.
Right, right. Yeah. Like bring down the sugar, right? But yeah, it sounds like so the medication, you haven't had to do like have your asthma medication as much. You haven't had to have migraine medication as much. So it's really, really helped bring down a lot of the symptoms that you were feeling.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Were there any other menopausal symptoms you were experiencing outside of those things?
Oh, the sweats,
Yeah.
the night sweats, the wanting to rip off your clothes and turning purple because you're so hot. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, that's, I mean, I have to ask the ladies who are watching, do you ever get like, you guys get hot sweats where you get so hot you want to rip off your clothes?
Yes.
I bet you people will say, yes, I want to rip off my clothes. Sometimes with the audience, like actually when everybody's listening, they comment, it's really fun. But like, it's important for people to know this is normal for a lot of menopausal women is to have these like hot flashes or, suddenly you're getting so hot, right? And so has that improved for yourself throughout the?
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah.
also, I feel my hair has gotten thicker since
Ah,
I've been,
yes.
it's
Yes.
grown a lot. It's grown a lot these past few weeks.
Yes. Your hair has just been healthier overall.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And honestly, like that's, I mean, obviously for me coaching so much, that happens quite often. The hair and the skin really, really starts to really improve from all the healthy nutrition that you're gaining. And one thing I would say is when you bring down inflammation, your body's uptake of nutrition improves what it can take in. So you're taking in more nutrition and it's not being like blocked by all that inflammation in your gut, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, that is awesome. Well, you look great. I love your hair.
Heartburn. My heartburn is gone. I haven't taken heartburn medicine, stomach medicine at all.
Right, right.
Mhm.
So one thing I hear from you, Yvonne, because I know Oshun has been coaching you and we haven't talked regularly, but it's like almost sounds like ever since you started eating better and learning about bringing down inflammation, you didn't have to take as much medication. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
that's true. A lot of medication.
Yeah, that's huge because I know most people don't want to be on meds, right? And so Jaylan says yes. She said yes to you. She has kind of that hot sweat, like night sweat that you want to rip off the clothes. So she agrees with you, Yvonne. Awesome. Kathleen, what about you? What were some of your struggles kind of in menopause and some of those symptoms?
Well, before I started, like I do have a long physical background. Like I was involved in sports and everything. But before I started FFF, I literally almost couldn't get out of bed in the morning. I was in so much pain. And I had gone to a naturopath to try and find out if it was foods that was causing inflammation and trying to find other solutions. And my old injury, well, if you're in sports, you've of course got a lot of injuries. So I had back injuries and knee injuries, and I was in pain all the time. I was having a hard time walking. My job's very physical,
Right.
and I was having a really hard time just keeping up and with the physicality of it all.
Mhm.
And I think that's when I found your podcast, and I was desperate because I just was tired of feeling tired, like
Yeah.
sick and tired.
Yes.
And I just felt sick all the time. I just felt like my stomach just felt sick all the time.
Yeah. You didn't want to get out of bed, right?
No,
I
no,
didn't
it
want
was
to get
just
out of bed either.
yeah,
Yeah.
everything hurt. It would
Yeah.
take like an hour just to it was a little it was like yeah, like you were just trying to unhinge all your parts and
Yeah. Yeah, my
took
whole
most
body feels
hour
better
just
also. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I feel like that's, I mean, what you're saying, I feel like it's something I hear a lot about. Like you describe it in a way that's, really descriptive. Like I know a lot of women just say like, I'm in so much pain, but like,
Mhm.
just now, Yvonne, you and Kathleen, just like saying like having a hard time getting out of bed and like unhinging yourself. I'm like, have this image of you like moving your arm, like
Pretty much.
move my
Yeah. You think
leg,
it's just
kind of,
old age, oh, I'm getting old. But
Yeah, yeah.
since
yeah.
this program, it's been like, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you've been able to move a lot easier, and I think one of the biggest wins, like you said, Kathleen, is finally not having that kind of pain in your body anymore. Is that
That's
correct?
right. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is like life changing.
It
Like when you
is.
don't live with pain every day, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I guess
because
go ahead.
I kinda thought that I was gonna have to live with it, and I was kinda trying to resign myself to the fact that this was gonna be the way it was.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And that's where most a lot of women that's how they feel like this is just how they have to live with the pain or just with the symptoms and all of that. And I just want everyone who is listening or going to re-listen to this live is like, you don't have to live with that. And this is why I say this so confidently, is examples like this is like when you fix nutrition and particularly inflammation, right? We're talking about
mhm.
inflammation, how much in your body changes. I'm curious, does anybody like relate to Kathleen or Yvonne, like in terms of like just like pain, like you live with pain? If anybody has a lot of pain or arthritis or like hard time getting out of bed, I want you guys to put it below because it lets you know you're not alone. And like, this is a struggle that a lot of menopausal women go through,
Mhm.
but it's not just because of menopause, right? It's because of the way you eat. And this is what I try. That's something I really want someone to connect with. Wanda just said I can relate, and Wanda's registered in the next FFF program because yeah, she has lots of pain. She's always wondering like, is this normal? Is this me? Am I just aging? Right?
Right, right.
Mhm.
Yeah. But both of you are like, it's not just aging, it's actually what you put in your body, right? And
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. And Sue Murphy just jumped in and says she has hip pain. She has hip pain and all of
Mhm.
that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it just changing your food changes how you feel. And so do you mind telling me, I'll go ask Kathleen, I'll jump back to you, Yvonne, but like now that you don't have as much pain, like is like your energy better, or like how are you overall like feeling now, like with like no more pain in your body?
Oh, I it's night and day. Like I'm happy to get out of bed in the morning. I sound like a commercial, but I I'm like I feel good getting out of bed in the morning. I have unlimited energy. I really do. Like I a lot at time at work, I'll put in like a 14-hour day and I'm fine.
Right.
And just the brain fog, like I don't feel so like
Yeah.
with menopause comes a lot of brain fog
Yes.
and I get like I think it's the sugar and everything else I was putting in my body. I just felt like I wasn't thinking as sharp. I wasn't making decisions as well. Um, just because, yeah, because of all the food. So I
Right.
just feel, I feel a whole lot better. And I'm just more positive. I just feel so much more positive, and I feel like I kind of have my hope back because I think I
Yes.
kind of given up hope maybe of
Mhm.
ever feeling good again.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, there's so many things there. One thing you said, brain fog, and right away I think about a couple of they're still current clients, like well, Lynn, she always said, Lynn Howell, she always says she struggled with brain fog, but ever since she did the program and started eating better and started eating cleaner, it's like, oh, I actually can think clearly. I can think fast, and that's huge. And I know I was speaking to someone else who says like, it really bothers her as she's aging that like she can't like function like she used to. And I think that's probably relates to a lot of people. Like she's like, I can't think as fast. I can't, and it's like, it's really bothersome, right? Not just, I mean, pain in the body, yes, but also here, like, you're like, I'm not able to think clearly, right?
It's very frustrating. Yeah.
Frustrating. Yeah, that would be the word. And Joanne here says, well, Janice says she has knee pain. Joanne says, I relate. Pain wasn't a big deal before, but now with menopause, recovery takes a lot longer for her. So yeah, so a lot of people connect with you. And so, Yvonne, why don't you, I know you struggle, you mentioned some of the things like you're not on meds anymore, or is taking a lot less, but I guess for you, kind of like, how do you feel now? Like, what's the difference? Like, is your energy a lot better?
Yeah, it's like what Kathleen said, because in one of our private meetings, Kathleen had said, yeah, I don't have that back stiffness anymore. I'm like, you're right. You're right, Kathleen. I'm like, I'm waking up every day. I'm like, wow, my back is great. I feel really good. You don't feel like that old woman that I thought belonged to me, that it was just age appropriate. I have a lot more energy. I'm running around with my grandson a lot more.
Oh, that's
doing
awesome.
more things. Yeah. I just feel like, okay, I can get out of bed. It's time for me to get up and go. Before I would lay there and I'd be like, no, I'm not getting up. An hour and a half. I would just lay in bed and contemplate getting up.
I have a lot. That's what you just said there. I have, so for people who are listening, put below if it takes you over an hour to get out of bed in the morning, because you're in pain. Because it's a lot of women who say like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just can't get out of bed. It takes me almost an hour to try to get out of bed, and
you get depressed.
Yeah,
you really get depressed because you're like, is this going to be the rest of my life?
That's right.
Yeah.
And this is something I think is really great you guys are sharing. So again, a lot of the women listening know that this is, well, first of all, you're not alone. A lot of women who go through things like this, but to also see like it's possible, like that you can change it. You don't have to live with this for the rest of your life, right? And so yes. And
it's
so
sad because the doctors, you're feeling bad and you go to a doctor and they say, all right, I'll give you a prescription for this, or I'll give you a prescription for that. And one thing leads to another, and you got 5 new prescriptions, and they just counteract each other, and you feel even worse sometimes.
Yes.
And you need to speak to doctors, Clarice. You need to spread the word.
I feel like you need to create some sort of like symposium or something like that.
But you would have thought that eliminating toxic ingredients from your body that supposedly is sold to you as a healthy food, and if you don't read the labels, you just don't know what's in it. You don't know.
Yes.
And that's poisoning you.
Yeah. And that's the craziest part is like, obviously like it's like if you study into like why they approve a lot of these types of ingredients is because in small quantities, it's not going to kill you. It's not going to harm you. And when you study into a lot of these ingredients, it's like, okay, so like they approve it, but in large quantities, it's not good for you. So what does that mean over time when it like, maybe accumulates in your body, or, like menopause and aging both cause increased inflammation, right? Plus you putting all these chemicals in, it's like, it just like, it like triples or quadruples the type of inflammation happening in your system. And I think like, that's the hard part for a lot of people to understand is like all these chemicals that are in the food these days, they're just not aware, right? And then people are in so much pain, and that's the thing. And I know that Jalen said, I can't stand the brain fog. Words don't come out as easily in conversation. And I'm oftentimes forgetful. My elbow joints hurt a lot. Yeah, Jalen,
Mhm.
we, I get you. I know all, Yvonne, Kathleen get you. And a lot of the women who follow in this group, like, understand it's like, it's not fun having brain fog. But just like Yvonne said, the best medicine is going to be natural whole foods. If you can
Mhm.
understand how to eat your nutrition well, that is going to be your best medicine. So if you agree, 15 eyeballs watching, that, natural foods is your best medicine, I want you to put that below, because as you age, you're going to go see doctors. And a lot of times you're going to get a lot of medications. And I want you guys to try to remember that the medication may cover the symptom, but it will not always get to the root cause. And I really believe you have to get to the root cause to solve it and not put a medication on top. And that's what you were sort of saying, Yvonne, is around like all these medications that you're on. And now, because you're learning how to eat healthy, you can be off of a lot of these medications now.
Like putting a Band-Aid on and now we're ripping it off. Because
Yeah.
Yes.
everything's healing naturally.
Exactly. From the inside out, right? So
Right.
yes. And so yeah, Joanne's like, natural food is the best medicine. Yes. That's awesome. Yes, Wanda, a lot of people are putting that now. Awesome. So I guess like just like you said, you've experienced a lot of positive changes. We're gonna dive deeper into that in a bit, but I'm actually curious what made you, each of you, decide to finally take that leap to do the FFF program, because there's a lot of different things out there. There's a gazillion things out there actually. Like, what made you, Kathleen, decide, or Yvonne, you decide, okay, I want to go into this Fierce Factor Formula group coaching program? What made you guys decide that?
I saw you on Facebook about a year ago. And on Wednesdays, and I would just watch you, and I'm like, oh, she's making sense. And, she's got something going on here that's positive. And I had tried Atkins, I had tried keto, the last one was Weight Watchers, and I could not do Weight Watchers. It did nothing for me. And then that's when I said, all right, I'm going to try Clarice's program. And that's when I said, that's it. Do or die.
Do or die. I like that, do or die. I'm kind of curious. So what specifically did you hear that allowed you to like go, yes, I need to try this? Because that's what I'm super curious about.
The tummy, the bloating of the tummy. I remember trying a dandelion tea.
Oh yeah, the
and
dandelion tea. Yes.
ginger, dandelion, and
Yeah.
something else. And I couldn't find an ingredient during COVID for it. Oh, I forgot what the
It was
third
it was it
ingredient.
was during one of our challenges, correct? One of
Yeah.
our yes.
Right.
Okay.
And when I tried that, and I said, oh wow, I don't feel that gassiness or,
Yes.
even with the inflammation, it's like, you're a squeeze cushion sometimes too. So I felt better after that. And that's when I said, that's it, I'm joining the next
Okay.
challenge.
Yes. Which is a good reminder, everyone. If you have not heard of our anti-bloat challenge, which we're throwing it next week, put anti-bloat challenge, because you probably don't want to miss it, because you will feel a difference, once you start doing, some of the things I recommend in that challenge. Yeah. So it was that you started feeling so much better in your stomach and the bloating. And that's really one of the reasons that you decided
Right.
to give it a try. Yeah. Awesome. Kathleen,
Right.
what about yourself?
Yeah, I was watching Facebook videos that you did as well. And I remember you interviewed this little lady, and she gave a testimonial, and it just really touched me. And it just looked to me like you really cared about women. And like so many doctors and professionals, they don't take women in menopause seriously. They're starting to do studies and everything, but I was just really impressed by how you really you really seem to take our issues seriously, and you're not probably going through it because you're so young. But I just thought, wow, like finally someone is addressing some of
Yeah.
the issues that you can't get answers to anywhere else.
Yes.
It was
And
the
then,
sincerity. Wasn't
yeah,
it
yeah,
sincerity in
yeah.
her? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think the tipping point was probably the bloating issue because that's such a big one for you when you get to be in menopause. It's just like, yeah, it's like
Mhm.
you just don't know what to do to combat it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always
And
there.
yeah, I think you probably watch Rosalinda's interview. She's on this, she's
Oh,
commenting a lot.
maybe, yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds familiar.
Rosalinda, if you're on here, I think she watched, was it the little Asian lady?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
Rosalinda, it's
I
you.
love that one. That was such a good one.
Yes, she's on here right now.
Oh,
So
that's good. I loved her story.
her story, yeah,
Yeah,
and just like gave a lot of hope that it's possible, right?
right.
Um and yeah, and I really appreciate what you said. And I think like for me, it's a little backstory around why this to me is so important is well, one, because like when I was training people in the gyms, like I could get them like maybe fit, like they could do stuff and push-ups and everything, and Oshone knows, like I like intense workouts, but I never could like fully change like the way they drop in their body or their bellies, or like I remember training some older women in the gyms, and they would have good workouts, don't get me wrong, but they could
Mhm,
never lose that belly, right?
mhm.
And
Yeah,
so it wasn't until I brought all this online, obviously over COVID, and we started having all these systems of tracking and like really watching what you eat. And for me, I was astounded at like what people were eating as
mhm.
I was starting to like have these new systems of online training and coaching. And I was like, this is what people eat. Cause like for me, that was like, wow. And then I started being like, no, I have to teach this. And I started teaching it.
Yeah,
And then I started seeing like the belly started dropping like crazy in the people I was coaching. And I started realizing the biggest gap, and this is one thing I always say, between and I was a trainer as well. Trainers I respect a lot because they do good work in the gym, but they don't usually address nutrition. And that
right.
nutritional part makes so much difference. And then as I started working with a lot of you, it's like I started realizing like that, wow, like the types of food you eat and the correlation of how badly it impacted your symptoms, it was like one by one, as we tracked everything, as you guys know, we track everything.
Mhm,
It's so through like real life experience, real life working with all of you, I realized like these are the things that are causing massive problems with women at this age, right?
mhm,
And it's not something that sometimes you might hear me say that textbook can only teach you so much. There's kind of like this textbook knowledge, and then there's
mhm,
real life applied knowledge. And so a
Mhm.
lot of the things that I learned was like being able to work with all you ladies and be able to see like this type of the foods that you guys were eating, and one by one changing these things, how much like better you guys felt, losing weight, losing the belly, energy coming back, skin
mhm,
improving, cellulite, like the skin in the legs improving. And so it was like through real life experience that I actually started realizing a lot of people didn't know how to eat. And then I became more and more passionate about this whole aspect, and then started also putting things together. My dad went through autoimmune disease, almost died. Um, and I started realizing like a lot of people as they age don't understand how to eat. And this
mhm,
is something that has to be taught, and that's one of the reasons probably why you see like I'm very passionate. I want to help all of you because it doesn't make sense for you guys just to live in pain and be like, I'm in menopause and this is what it's going to be. You know what I mean? So
mhm. Yeah.
just to kind of give you some of that backstory as well. Rosalinda just put here, she says, Thank you. You are so loved, and begin loving yourself. Rosalinda says like hi to you. So yeah, that's awesome. And Rosalinda says, yes, nutrition is key, exact systems for you and lifestyle change with Clarice and Angels and Oshone and all that. So yes, so it's awesome because I told Rosalinda when she does an interview, she may give hope to someone else. So you are an example that she gave hope to you, Kathleen, so that you could experience now a pain-free life. Right. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. So let's continue on. We have 18 eyeballs now, more people popping in. Pamela, Joanne, good to see you. So I guess for yourself, as you went through the EFF program, I know you guys talked about like a lot of the changes and the menopausal symptoms that you're experiencing less, but let's kind of dive into maybe let's actually start here. What were some of the things that you learned that were kind of like, oh, like I had no idea. This is just like really like eye-opening. Like what were some really eye-opening things that you learned within the FFF program?
Canola oil.
Canola
Yeah.
oil.
Canola oil, soy, whatever words you cannot pronounce, don't take them.
Did you guys hear that? 18 eyeballs. If you can't pronounce it, probably
Don't
not
take
the best
it.
for you. Exactly. Yeah. So like realizing like a lot of times the oils and things like that they use are not good for you. A lot of the chemicals, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome, Yvonne. Kathleen, what about yourself?
Well, one of the first things I learned, because we had to track the first week, was how much I ate, because I don't think you really realize how much you're eating until you have to start tracking it.
Yes.
And then I think one of the biggest takeaways for me was just balancing the food, because I always thought I ate good, and there are parts that I did, but I wasn't balancing it properly. And that was like that's something that's going to get me through right till the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good information.
What you learned in FFF, learning
Yeah.
how to balance your nutrition, your macros, that's a skill set you can take with you for the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
Macros was a big thing. I
Yeah.
had no idea about macros.
Yeah.
No, me neither.
And what's interesting is if people are just listening and maybe you don't know what macros are, maybe you do, why macros are so important. Well, let me ask you before I say it, because Clarice always speaks. What have you guys learned about why is balancing macros so important? Like, what have you learned that why is it important to balance macros?
Well, I guess when one food group is out of whack, then it's just affecting your body nutrition. You're maybe like too much fat, like, you're just, and then your body's holding on to that weight that you're trying so desperately to get rid of. Is the way I see it.
Yeah.
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 I didn't eat enough. I ate like maybe one meal a day, and from
Right.
the old school, you intake less, you're gonna lose weight, or yeah. So I
Yeah.
didn't eat hardly anything, and now I'm eating more than and I'm on a low calorie, but I'm eating more than I've ever eaten in the past
Yeah.
5, 7 years.
Yeah. And that's actually, you're not alone, Yvonne. So I speak about this a lot. I say a lot of women coming to us don't eat enough. And Yvonne, I think you were eating around 800 calories when you first started, 800, one meal a day.
Maybe, yeah.
900. And I'm curious,
Maybe
how many
less.
how many of you on here eat very little? Like you only eat one meal a day, or you eat like 1,000 calories or 900 calories. How many of you on here eat very little? If you do eat very little, I want you to put very little. And I want you guys to hear what Yvonne just said.
Yeah, I'm eating more than I've ever eaten in 7 years, 8 years, because I always thought, well, if I'm gonna eat it, I'm gonna get fat. If I'm gonna eat this, I'm gonna get fat. If I look at the wrong food, I've already gained the weight. So
Right. And it's an old school mentality, like you
right,
said.
it is old
Yeah.
school mentality. Learning, I had no idea about macros. I had no idea about fats and combining them, how to make the combinations, and I'm still learning.
Yes.
it's a rough road for me, that macros,
Yes.
but I'm
Yes.
still learning it.
Process.
And yeah, so, and it's great. And I haven't lost a lot of weight, but
Yeah.
I've lost so
Inch-
many inches.
inches, 46,
Mhm.
45 inches. It's crazy. Yeah,
6.7,
46 inches. Yeah, it's amazing. And I wanted to highlight what you said, because again, I really want to go back to anyone who's trying to starve themselves or just eating one meal a day. It is not the way, not the way to lose weight. Okay. This is a message for all women. And I get it, you know, even coming from the dance world, like when you don't know better, what do? You think that to lose weight, you just starve yourself, or you just don't eat, or you just, you know, like this is like this like common misconception. And as you just said, Yvonne, like that doesn't work. You would end up like when you're 20, 30, it might work, but it damages your metabolism, and or it will slow it down. And then when you're in menopause and your body's under already a lot of inflammation, when you don't eat, what happens? Cortisol spikes, you get more inflammation, you still have a belly, you're only eating one meal a day, like you said, Yvonne, and still you have inflammation, right? And like you couldn't lose that weight. But then when we gave you more food, you started eating more. That
Mhm.
changed a lot with the right quality of nutrition, right macros and right combination, right?
Right, right,
So
right.
makes a huge difference. And Kathleen, what you said earlier about just like when you were eating too much of one type of food group, you know,
Mhm.
and a lot of people don't realize that. And so I'm actually curious, like how many people on here, so now you have 17 eyeballs on here, you know, like track macros, or you want to learn more about macros. So if you are wanting to learn more about macros, I want you to put macros below, because the macros part is what I think changes the quality of food, changes the quality of your life. I really believe this. The quality of your food changes the quality of your life. If you can understand macros, it really changes everything. And so yeah, so put macros below if you want to learn more about macros. But let's dive into, so you said some of these like life-changing things that you learned. Was there anything else that you learned that was like, oh, that's so cool, or anything else before we kind of dive into some other questions?
But weightlifting really, not just, I was always a runner, you know, and I was much, much thinner. But the weightlifting really burns those calories
Yeah.
and shapes, like I said, I didn't lose a lot of numbers from the scale,
Right.
but at my grandson's birthday party 2 weeks ago, people came up to me and said, wow, you lost a lot of weight. I'm like, no, I didn't, but they said my whole body just looks totally different.
Yes, yes. And such a great example. I wish Cindy Hutchinson is on here, and a couple of the other ladies who has similar to you, Yvonne, where just massive amounts of inches and the weight dropped a little bit, but like it didn't even compare to the amount of inches.
Um,
And it confuses people, because if you were going off of just weight, Yvonne, what would you have done if you were not on this program? You've been like, oh no, it's like I only
right.
lost 3 pounds or 5, you know, like it's like
Mhm.
you almost get disappointed, or you kind of like, oh, like it's not working, right? But
Kathleen said earlier, frustrated, you just get frustrated.
frustrated, yeah.
Yeah.
But yet you lost so many inches, which is a large part due to all of that bloating and inflammation coming down, right? And then with you building muscle, or like starting to train, starting to build muscle, that changes the like your like water nutrition needs to move into the muscle. And so you might like weigh, like let's just say you lose 5 pounds of fat, let's just say, and you gain 2 pounds of muscle. You might weigh exactly the same,
Mhm.
right? But 2 pounds of muscle spread throughout your body, you look, like you said, tighter, toner.
Right.
And I can't wait to release all your, you know, your 3-sided photos next week, because you can see it, your belly, like it went from here to here, and your body looks so much tighter, right? And so, yes, yeah, Journeys, Joanne, Sherry, they all say macros right now. They say they need macros. And so weight training made a big difference? Like you didn't realize that resistance training made such a big difference to your physique.
Right. And I was behind the other ladies in the group because I couldn't lift as much weight as they could because of my left hand, all my replacements were much weaker. And it took me a little bit longer, but I'm getting up there with the weights.
Yeah. And you were saying something about your shoulder, is like before I had pain, but now you feel stronger.
Yes, it used to click all the time, and now I'm like, oh, I haven't taken enough pain medicine since I've started this program at night when I go to sleep. And I started off at 5 pounds with my left shoulder, and now I'm up to 7.5, 10, maybe 15 on some
Wow.
exercises. Yeah.
That's you're definitely improving it. And just think about this, right? We're setting you on the right path to keep going, right? So like you keep working at this, you keep building muscle, which takes time. And imagine like, just like, let's just say 2 years down the road, you keep weight training. What a big difference this is going to make in your body.
Oh, yeah.
And at 60, you're 63, was it you said?
61.
61.
63.
Oh, Kathleen 63. You guys both look amazing. Oh my gosh. You know, it's but like, you know, like being 60 something and having great muscle tone on your body. Isn't that just awesome to think about? Right. So awesome. And what about you, Kathleen? Anything else that you really learned or realized in the program?
Yeah, well, yeah, I have to agree with Yvonne, like with the labels. That was a huge one for me. It was mostly nutrition for me because I was quite aware of the muscle building part of it, of how the positive effects on the woman's body as you age, but the nutrition was huge. And well, and just finding out that you can do it. Like you know, you kind of get to a point where you feel like maybe you can't do it anymore, and you push through and realize you can do all these workouts. I think we were all a little bit frustrated at the beginning when we got what we had to do, because we were like, how are we going to fit this all into our life? And you find out you can do it if you really have the will and the desire. You can do it.
If you miss a day, you double up on the next day.
Yeah.
Triple up.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It almost like help you guys realize like you're stronger than you believe, you know. It might be hard at the beginning, but like look how much you guys progressed in this program, you know, like following through on the program. I would
give yourself extra time at the supermarket.
Yeah.
Because it's going to take you a while to compare this salad dressing to this salad dressing and to eliminate.
Yes.
About 20 minutes comparing and process of elimination.
But you know what? You're it's funny, but you're right. Like, so here's the thing. I remember, because obviously as a dancer, you're so like cautious and everything, being always looking at labels, but I was always looking at the calories and at the like fat, whatever. Like I was looking at that. I was spending time looking at that, but I was looking at the wrong stuff. Like not necessarily wrong, but it maybe wasn't the most important parts that I should have been looking at. And a lot of people like spend a lot of time trying to find health foods. Okay. They like, oh, this, I want to have healthy foods. I want this, but they're looking for all the wrong things. They're looking at the thing that says on the front, fat free, or it says, I don't know, some sort of thing. Like
syrup.
Light syrup. Zero sugar. Right. Did you look in the back of it? Because there's a whole bunch of stuff that shouldn't be entering your body, you know? And I think people do spend time, like if people care about their health, they do spend time. But now one thing, Yvonne, is that what you're spending time looking at really is the important things that you should be looking at in the grocery store, right?
The knowledge of reading the ingredients.
Yes, reading ingredients. Yeah. And I think it's funny you said that, because you do spend longer, but it's like, imagine you do this for a while. It's a habit building, right? Habit building. Eventually you get really good at knowing, like very quickly, like you identify quickly inflammatory markers. This is out, no, right? So you'll get better and better at it. Yes, people are agreeing with you. They say right, and they agree. And Rosalinda says you are both fabulous and rocking the 60s. Rosalinda is 60.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Rosalinda is the one that did the interview too. So that's awesome. Hi, Sherry. I see that you jumped in as well. So I guess another thing, just everyone watching, how many of you guys like know inflammatory markers? Or if you don't know inflammatory markers, put inflammatory markers below, because if you don't know inflammatory markers or what to look for, that's going to trip you up. in really, you'll buy something and think it's healthy, but it's not, right? So if you're like wondering what are like inflammatory markers, put inflammatory markers below. Okay. So let's dive a little bit into, I guess you guys kind of already went through it, but I want to make sure we kind of cover, because I always say I teach very holistically, and obviously Oshona has done such an amazing job with you. And she's on here, she's cheering you on here. But like, you guys spoke a little bit about the different wins, but let's kind of talk about like physically what's changed in your body, or like, I know you like dropping sizes, clothing, different things like that. And we're going to dive into sort of like each area, like physically, what has changed for you since doing the program, mentally, emotionally, and habit wise. So let's start like physically, like what has changed in your body since doing the program?
Well, for me, it was my boobs. It went drastic.
Yes, yes. You dropped 2 cup sizes, correct?
Yeah. I'm almost down to a 38 now. Almost
Okay.
fitting into a 38, which is, I
That's
haven't
huge.
been to a 38 and
Isn't like that's a big thing to like drop, right? Like, cause like when it's too heavy, it's really uncomfortable, right? So yeah,
and doing some of the exercises, you can't jump and you can't,
yeah.
you just can't.
Yes, yes.
That was a big one for me. The thinning of the face. That
Yeah.
was really big for me. And my tummy, and like, you can't see it in the pictures. I don't know about you, Kathleen, but like when I get out of the shower and I turn a little bit, I'm like, I can see like an arch almost.
Yes, like
In
a
the
little
side,
like an
indentation on the sides. Yeah. So I'm like, ooh, you can't see it in the pictures, but I can see it.
your pictures, you know what, when because on the post I did, I had to make it smaller because I had to fit your face in there. But when it's bigger, you see, I don't know if you saw the big difference between the belly, like the first picture, and then like your belly's like in so much, you
Right.
know?
And my back is more like straight.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So definitely you start seeing the indent in the belly, the face. Definitely, I see it in your face a lot, and your face too, Kathleen, in the pictures.
Yes.
Your very first picture to how much leaner you are. Yeah. What? Anything else, or Kathleen, you can jump in for the body physical changes.
With physical change, well, you know what? Mostly the strength. Like when I first started doing the workouts, I wasn't sure how I was going to get through it. I was thinking, wow, I didn't realize how weak I had gotten. And I guess 2 weeks in, I was kind of pleasantly surprised. And I mean, and then recently in the last week, I was like, wow, this is getting, I was putting, like there's a rating of how hard the workout was. And I'd always put probably almost the hardest. And now I'm kind of like, it's somewhat hard.
Yes.
But so that's really exciting for me because it just I just feel like I'm more in control of my body,
Yes.
and I just love that feeling. But I mean, and I like the way I feel like I'm getting my waist back. I can kind of see signs of it coming back, and I really like that. But I think just feeling stronger is it's just amazing to feel like you're in control of your own body and you can do things for yourself.
Yes, yes. That's huge. Being in control of your own body. I love what you said. And I mean, how many of you watching here feel after you weight train, you feel so much stronger, like you feel like empowered? You feel like you ever go to the gym and you finish a good workout and you're just like, you feel like unbeatable, right? You just feel so
Yeah.
strong and empowered. And I love hearing this because it's like, just like you said, like a lot of women in their 40, 50, 60s, and you two are great examples. You're both in your 60s, that you almost come to this like, oh, I'm 60. And so it's like, I'm going to be weaker, right? But now you guys are like, no, I'm strong. I feel strong. And what a
Yeah.
great way to turn this around, and to literally see it in the numbers, like not just in the rating scale, but like what you said, Yvonne, like going from 5-pound weights to 10-pound weights to maybe 15-pound weights, because you're on a structured program. Like I always say, you're not randomly just doing anything. What did you guys do over these weeks? You repeated similar routines every single week, practice, trained, had
That's correct.
feedback for the moves, right? So one of the biggest things on your progression is you got to do the same thing and train at it, train the technique of it, and then you start seeing your strength gain. But imagine if you just, like Yvonne, you went and just did a workout here, then did another different program over here, then did another. Like it's hard to grow anything at that point, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys?
The first week was hard. The first one, I was drenched in sweat. I was sweating buckets. And I came out of the room and my husband said to me, do they know how old you are? And I said, yeah, they know how old I am. And I'm only 60. I was 60. He goes, do they know that, you've had, I said, yes, they know I've had surgeries and this and that. He goes, all right, do they know they have to take it easy? I said, I can do this. I can do this. So he gets me so mad that I'm like, all right, now I'm definitely going to do it.
I love it. And now you've proven to him that you can do it.
Exactly. And I can, right. And I can take things from the car up the steps now, heavier packages. And he'll say, oh, I'll get that. I'm like, no, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's huge. Like, at 60, being able to be like, I could still pick this up, or I can still do this. And when somebody else is like, no, you're 60, like, let me help you. You're like, no, I can do this, like,
Yeah.
it's huge and empowering. That's awesome. I love, like, you sharing that story, Yvonne, because I think a lot of people are like that question he asked you, do they know how old you are, is almost like saying, like, I know he meant it in a good way, but it's almost like you're 60, so you should be, you shouldn't push, shouldn't be like, working like at this rate, but like you prove that you can. And this proves to everybody watching, like, you can be really strong and even stronger than you are in your 20s if you actually work at it consistently. The biggest thing will always be, do you have a good program that you can work and build on and practice? Like, you guys were practicing these routines for over the past 7 weeks. You were doing it and practicing the same thing. You didn't jump around, right? And that made such a big difference.
Like I told Shani, I said, when I first started, I think with my asthma, I could only do like 12 jumping jacks. And now I'm up to 50, and I'm like, ooh, I'm not sweating as much. And it's just very empowering, enlightening, liberating feeling that I'm conquering something and I'm achieving goals.
That's so huge. It's awesome, Yvonne. And just like these words, like, ladies, you're hearing that: empowering, liberating, like, just like having like that, like I'm 60 and I'm rocking it, don't you want, all you listening, don't you want to be there? That's like, I'm 60 and I'm rocking it. It's not like I'm 60 and I feel old, or I feel like joints are hurting. It makes a big difference.
After the workouts, I feel like I want to play that Rocky music.
That's the Rocky music. That is so awesome. I wish I could. I haven't figured out the whole sound thing with like Zoom, but Zoom sometimes you can do these sounds that, like, that would be awesome. But Joanne here actually said something. She said, age doesn't define you, you define your age.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I like that.
Yes. And Joanne also says, I definitely feel empowered after working out. And Kat Wilson says, my triceps are pretty strong and I like to lift as much as boys beside me on cable machines. Yeah, like prove them wrong, right? You are just as strong and you can work at something, right? So I love that. Awesome. So let's dive into actually, before I dive into it, if anybody is listening and you are not on a muscle building program or a structured building program, muscle building, I want you to put program below, because if you're jumping around or you have no structure to your workouts, that's not going to be helpful for you. So if you are struggling with your workouts or don't know what to do, or you're just guessing every single time or doing random things, put structure below, so that we can reach out to you to provide you with some help. Okay, so awesome. So let's dive into mentally. So mentally, what kinds of changes have you experienced mentally or emotionally? I know you said feeling stronger. I know that is both a physical, but it could be a mindset as well. But like in terms of mindset work, I know Shoni and she always chats with me, but she's like, oh, you guys have like changed so much in your mentality. And so I'd love for you guys to share, like, what mindset wins have you guys gained over this like 7-8 week program?
Well, for me, I think mostly my big one was, I think I kind of approached the workouts in the last couple of years, kind of like, oh, I have to do this. I got to get it over with. And I kind of, after I'd been working, I did a 14-hour day, and I all of a sudden thought to myself, you know what? I get to do this. I get to do something for myself to make me feel better and stronger in my job, in my life. And it was just a switch from that negative, looking at it negatively, to looking at it as something positive that I was doing for myself. And it made a big difference. I think from there on, I kind of went into the workouts with I can do it kind of attitude, instead of I have to do this, you know.
But we're not in pain anymore, Kathleen.
What's that?
We're not in pain anymore. So it's like,
exactly, that makes
mental thing is like,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's huge. A big mindset shift, right? From like,
Yeah.
I have to do it to I get to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's a choice you made, that little switch in your brain. But I agree with Yvonne. Like, if you're in a lot of pain and a lot of inflammation, that's going to be hard to want to always work out, right? But like when your body's feeling better, you have more energy, you know, it's like it's easier to make the switch, but still you had to make the mindset shift for yourself, right?
So, I did, yeah. And even being in pain, like you have to look at it as like you're doing it for something for yourself to improve your life. So yeah, that's very true.
That's so huge. Such a great mindset shift. Yeah. So proud of you for that, because it's like I think at the end of the day, it's like, I always say that you choose yourself. You know what I mean? Like, every day you have a choice to choose yourself. You choose yourself by choosing to eat healthy food. You choose yourself by saying, I get to work out, right? Like I get to, I have another breath to take, you know, this is a gift. So let's make the most out of it. Right. So that is so awesome, Kathleen. And what about you, Yvonne? Like, what are some mindset shifts that you've had?
Mind shifts is a huge one, is for me to eat more, to accept that I have to eat to lose, to accept that I have to eat to fulfill my muscles, oxygen and all that stuff. You know, it's pretty much what Kathleen was saying. It was accepting me. It was accepting me, that I was doing this, accepting that nobody else in my surroundings was pushing me or helping me to do it. I was doing this on my own, with, of course, the help of you and Oshoni and the group, the ladies. The support was great. It's fantastic. But yeah, I'm doing it for me. That it's all, I'm taking the time out and saying, all right, leave me alone, go watch TV, do something else. I'm gonna go work out for an hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's huge. I mean, a lot of you are moms, grandmas, and I know many of you watching on here. And one of the most common things I hear is like, just usually most of your life, you live life, kind of like doing everything else for everybody else.
Mhm.
And, you get to a point at this point in your life where you're like, hey, it's finally time to, like, for me to put
Yeah,
myself
right,
first, right?
exactly.
And
Yeah.
this is really and anyone, any ladies that are watching, I want you to put it's time for me below. If you believe it's time for you, that you stop doing things, um, you still serve your family, all that, but like you're now prioritizing yourself as well. Because if your health is not prioritized, like you're no good in the long run, right? And
Right.
so put it's time for me below, because I really think a lot of women need this reminder. A lot of women need this reminder that it's like, you don't have to always be like, I think I was talking to you, Joanne. Joanne, you're right on here. She's in my muscle accelerator. Boundaries, right? Like everybody
Mhm.
needs you. She has like 4 kids and many grandkids as well. Everybody needs her. She could be there, like they call her, she picks up,
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
middle of a workout. And I think Joanne would say, like, I finally put down my boundaries. Like, don't bother me for this like hour or whatever when I'm working out. This time is for me. And I'm like, yes, good for
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
You
Good
need,
plan.
right? So
Yeah.
yes, people
And the
say,
mindset also is to eat. Like you said, I didn't eat before. And now I'm eating sometimes 3 times a day, maybe sometimes even 4, which is a lot for me. And
"Hey."
my husband will look at my plate, he goes, "You're gonna eat all that?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am gonna eat all that." And he sees me on the computer every meal, I'm on the computer and I'm jotting everything down. I said, "John, I'm not even making my goals 100%." And he's like, "Oh, all right." And I'm like, and that's my mindset, that I have to say, this is me and not you, or you judging what I'm eating and stuff like that.
Yes,
Right.
yes, totally. Maybe over the years he's seen you eat so little, maybe like just always like very little, because and now he's seeing like you're eating the volume in it. It may not make sense in their head, but like it's like whenever I give this analogy of like, if your body is a fire, and food is the log. So what happens if like you put more log on the fire? What happens?
Fire grows.
Fire grows, it
Mhm.
burns more intensely, right?
Mhm.
So you want to think like your metabolism, your body's, it's like it burns more intensely if you're going to feed it good food, not bad food, but good food, it's going to burn more intensely. But if you don't give it the logs or the wood, the fire eventually dies down, which really is a lot like your metabolism. Your metabolism is it adjusts. So you don't give it food, it adjusts itself down, right? So, and that's why, like for you said, the biggest change is this mindset that I have to eat more. And that's something that yeah, for all the ladies watching, it's like learn your nutrition so you don't have to starve yourself. Learn your nutrition so you can eat lots of good healthy food. You should be eating lots of food. And Yvonne, I don't know if Oshone kind of mentioned to you, but like a lot of ladies like Debbie, one of our angels started at 800 calories. It was so hard to even get her to go like 1,000. Like she was like
Mhm.
fighting me. And you probably get it. She was like,
I
and we were like, hey,
understand. And I'm
yeah.
looking at my calories, I'm like, oh God, I'm at 850. I need another 250 calories.
Yes, yes, but and it's hard now because your body has its fire down, but then over that time, as you can see in the program, we're really bringing it back up because we want to teach your body how to eat. And now, just so you know, Debbie is at 1,400 calories from 800. And
Wow.
she's leaner and tighter and has more muscle than ever before. And so
Mhm.
it just makes such a big difference. Like, and I believe uh I probably won't name her name, but she's very lean, and she went from like she wasn't eating too little, but she needs to build muscle. And so she went from I think like 1,400 calories. Now she's up to 2,100. Now she wasn't too low before, but she needed the amount to build muscle because she has a hard time building muscles. So it just gives you an idea like why we are encouraging to eat more. But you have to have the right teaching. You can't just go, okay, now here from my live, I'm just going to go eat more. But if you go eat more, but don't know your inflammation markers or your quality of food or macro combos,
Mhm.
that's when people see themselves gaining weight really fast, and then they get scared, and then they back off of eating. And then there's this whole yo-yo of like, okay, I should eat some more. No, I'm gaining weight. I'm going to not eat. And it becomes this really yo-yo cycle, which isn't healthy. So I'm glad that you're bringing this point up so that people can know, like, they should be eating lots of healthy food. You shouldn't have to starve yourself or anything like that,
It's
right?
shocking to see the amount of food that you're allotted and the way the combination is, and then to see the scale, say, oh wow, I lost weight, because
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
shocking. It really is shocking.
Yes. It's like almost against logic, right? You're
But
like,
that's
I'm
the mindset also. You have to accept that. You have to accept
Yes.
the eating of the food. You have to change the mindset that don't let anybody tell you, anybody outside of this group tell you what you should be eating, what you should not be eating, or intimidate you, anything like that.
Yes. Yes. And I think this goes back to, again, the people who are watching. I know Gigi, I saw that you want to learn more about program journeys. I saw some of you guys put it there, but if you guys specifically like feel like you just don't understand nutrition, and if you've already put it, you don't have to put it again, but just like put nutrition, because I believe if you understand your nutrition, you should feel like calm, like you should be like, okay, I know what I need to eat. I know how I need to like fuel my body. I know exactly what my body needs. But if you're always guessing and you don't know what you need, how much calories you need, am I too low? Am I too high? Too much protein, not enough protein, like it messes with your mind. It actually messes with your mindset. You just like, I don't know, is this the right nutritional balance that I need, right? And so if you want to learn more about nutrition, definitely put that below. And Gigi, I do see what you're saying, so we will reach out to you, Gigi. But yeah, anybody else that really wants to learn more, definitely put it below. So let's dive to habit wins. So habit wins, and like what you've learned in habits is just as important as macros, is what you do on a daily basis and what you've learned to do on a daily basis. So what sorts of like new habits have you formed through the program?
Oh, a big one for me was food prep. I did a little bit before, but the food prep, I found that that's the key to success. Is
Yes.
if you can, I just like I'd do it on Sunday, just get all my food ready for the week. Well, as much as I could, and I just found that if I had that plan in place, that habit of doing that, then it just made it so much easier. Because when you're hungry, you don't feel like waiting for the food. You just want to eat right now. So if you've got it, a lot of it ready, it makes it so much easier to succeed in it in the group.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Meal prepping will save is one of the major keys. Yeah.
I had
Do-
never done that before. And I think it was yesterday, there were two ladies that joined the FFF.
yes,
Da-
yes. Yeah,
Dana?
I had said like Angela Graham and Natalie. Natalie are in FFF now. Yes, yes.
She had a little bit of an accent.
Yeah.
And she did an excellent, no, it was, yeah, I think her name was Dana. I don't know. And she did this excellent food prepping, and she explained everything. And she had turkey, and she had this, and she had that. And then there was another Asian lady, and she broke down those macros on that scale.
Oh, yes,
Oh my
yes,
gosh.
yes. Tracy, if you watch us, she always watches these lives. Tracy, okay, by profession,
Tracy.
just so you know, she is an accountant. And when she was in the FFF program, she was amazing with macros. She was like, and this, and this, and this.
Yes, I
She
was
is,
so impressed. I mean, I learned a
yeah,
lot from just her, watching her yesterday, because I was like, wow, this is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. But which also shows you there's a lot to learn about macros, right? It's not just so simple. You've got to really kind of be taught how it all works together, and then take some time to learn. But once you understand it, it'll start making sense, right? So
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So for you, habit wise is like learning to meal prep and really learning how to do those macros.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I would
Yeah.
say like I agree with you. Honestly, when I went through like my own journey and competition, like training for competition, like the skill set of learning about macros and meal prepping changed everything in my life, like for the past number of years, because it
Mhm.
was something naturally we're not taught usually, unless your mom and dad is a bodybuilder or something like that. Um, you're not taught that you should pre-plan your food. And
Right.
I always say if you don't plan your food proactively, you will eat your food reactively. If you
Mhm.
don't plan your food proactively, you will eat your food reactively. And
Mhm.
most people eat their foods reactively. And that's why they cannot control their body's composition and how much fat or how much muscle is in their body, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, that's awesome to hear that was the biggest thing for both of you. Um, and for everyone who's watching, hi Ratty, I know you just joined in. And Jaylan, I see that you want more help with nutrition. Yes. If you guys are relating to Kathleen or Yvonne, put relate below. If you feel like what they're sharing with you, you really can relate with them, put relate below, just so we know like they that you're connecting in with what they're saying. So we're gonna ask you a couple more questions just to wrap up here. So like for you, what for both of you, what was the favorite part of the FFF program for both of you? What is the favorite part that you enjoyed in this whole program?
I enjoyed the meetings. I enjoyed sharing with the other ladies a lot. I really connected with Kathleen and Tracy and uh, just chatting and exchanging stories and saying like, okay, they're hurting also with their muscles and
Yes,
they're
yes,
not,
they're sore as well.
yeah, or they're making mistakes too. I'm not the only one making a mistake. And
Right.
uh, I really enjoyed that a lot. The
Yes,
support, the support, the cheering on, the cheerleading, like the passion. I really like the camaraderie of
yes.
everything. Yeah.
The ladies
Mhm.
coming together to support one
Yes.
another.
Yeah. I think
Awesome.
it's fantastic. And I
Yeah.
was scared, and I spoke to Clarice ahead of time. I was crying the week before joining this because I was a nervous wreck joining
Great.
this.
Great.
And
Actually, I
I'll
love
tell everybody, run to Clarice.
you, Clarice. Thank you. Can I ask you about that? Because as a coach, obviously I onboard a lot of new people. I onboard new people into programs, and often and it's normal. There is this fear of like, oh no, is it going to work? Oh no, like, it's going to be hard or. And I know you were there. You were like, I don't know if I can do this. You were crying.
Yes.
And so could you speak to that specifically, Yvonne, for anyone who's having those types of fears? um Before starting a program or even trying to take that leap, like what allowed you to kind of like move forward from that fear?
I think it's from trying so many other programs and failing that
Mm,
the fear of joining this group and being with the other ladies and failing and not being able to conquer the challenges and the exercises and learning stuff. This was a whole different program that I've ever been in before. It was scary. It was a lot of accountability that you cannot like in Weight Watchers, you say, oh, you did this points and that points, but in this one, you have to weigh yourself, you have to send in the pictures, measure yourself. So the accountability is real. You can't fake it at
yeah,
all.
you
Uh,
have to be there. You have to be at class. You got to weigh in, check in.
and you got to show those pictures, and the pictures show the truth. So,
Yes. Yeah.
and all of this was so new and unnerving
Yeah.
and scary. It was a big, scary leap for me to be with other women and to have that kind of accountability and not cheat. That was
Yes.
a big thing for me.
Right. And I guess for you, like, it's like that fear, like, makes sense. It's like suddenly like you're in this big program with other women and accountability. What kind of in your mind though would you say to women who are at that juncture you were 7 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago? that they're kind of like teeter-tottering, like, oh, I should do this program, I shouldn't. What if it
Right.
doesn't work? Like, it could work for other women, but it won't work for me. Like a lot of self-sabotaging thoughts. What would you say to those women right now?
Check out the grass on the other side of the fence. It works. There's more nutrients on that grass.
There's more nutrients on the other.
Take the jump.
Yes. Yeah. I guess
Yeah.
the biggest thing is to, hear the people who have gotten to the other side and what they're experiencing, right?
It's an unbelievable feeling of accomplishment. An unbelievable, it's an awesome feeling. And it really, I get emotional thinking about even ending the program, because I'm like, no, I don't
Yeah.
want to end, and I don't want to, I want to have these ladies, and I want to have you and Oshoni checking in on me every once in a while.
Right. Yes.
It's emotional. It's a very emotional thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's something that you realize, which is actually one of my questions for both of you, is like how important structure, systems, and accountability is, right? And like, I guess for both of you, could you speak a little bit to sort of like what you realize about structure, systems, and accountability? Have you ever had this level of structure, systems, accountability, or just like what you learned about yourself? Like because FFF, like you said, is very structured. There's a lot of accountability, and you cannot easily like just go off filter. It just sticks you into a very structured program. So
But
could
your
both of
body
you,
reacts to it, because I think I was telling, I don't know, Shani or somebody, that I was making a cake and stuff for my grandson's birthday party. And I think I had like 2 Oreos and 2 chocolate chip cookies. And I felt like poo the next day. My
Yes.
joints were hurting me. I felt almost lethargic, it's like a false sugar high. And it was just, I felt terrible. And I was
yes,
like, I'm not doing this again. I'm not
you
doing this
posted
again.
it. I remember reading. Yeah, you just felt horrible after eating
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So there is truth in the system. There's truth in reading your nutrients, reading your ingredients. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Okay.
And I would say this, knowledge, knowledge is important, but applied knowledge is the most important thing. And this is what I really want a lot of women to hear. And I say this a lot. You can listen to, I have 130 lives. You can listen to through 130 lives, and you have knowledge. But the difference will be, do you know how to apply it? And that is the biggest difference. Applied knowledge is the true empowerment,
I
right?
think you say that you're an info beast.
Info beast. Yes, yes.
I was an info beast. I knew I could read stuff and, oh yeah, read it and never applied it. But now I'm applying the knowledge I have learned.
Absolutely. Yeah, it makes such a huge difference. And I like to know a lot more people jumped in. Hi, Jean. Hi, Shanika, Diana. But like anybody, any one of you are, I think it's a moment of honesty. It's just, are any one of you info beast? Because if you are info beast, put info beast below, because if all you do is you just gather info and gather info and gather info and gather info, but you don't apply, that's an info beast, right? And I will tell you how you will know. Here's the thing. Results always speak the loudest. If your current results is not what you want, and you still struggle with things like needing to lose weight, or needing to lose the belly, or needing like having major chronic pain and things like that, then you potentially are an info beast, potentially, because it means you have a lot of knowledge, but you have not crossed the bridge to deliver results in your life yet. And it takes a moment of honesty to admit that. So if anyone feels like they're there, like you're just an info beast, kind of like acknowledge that and put it below, so that you tell yourself, I need to actually take action. I need to learn how to apply this, not just listen to 130 lives and think that that's going to get me results, right? Your ears get a good workout, but nothing else gets a great workout from that, right? So awesome. And Kathleen, did you speak to the structure, systems, accountability?
No, I just well, you know what? I just think that what I liked so much was just that I had a plan in place finally, and because yeah, same thing. I knew a lot of stuff, but just to get a plan in place and actually start implementing it was one of the highlights for me. And the accountability was amazing. Like I couldn't get to a lot of the Friday groups, but the one I did, I absolutely loved it, and I love listening to the recordings, and just seeing you feel genuinely happy for the other ladies as much as you feel happy for yourself when you
Yes.
get to see the results
Their
of your
pictures.
planning. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
get to see that the plan is actually working. You know that your plan that you
And within 7 weeks.
yeah,
I haven't done this in, it could take me a year
yeah,
previously.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Just
don't have the
having,
right plan.
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Exactly. No, that's awesome. So we are really close to wrapping up because I know it's a little getting a little bit long. So that I just would love for one final last words you want to share with the ladies, that you want to share with everyone listening, that is like maybe where you are at menopause or gone through lots of pain, lots of medication, lots of like, the two of you know, you guys have crossed to the other side.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I would love for you to just share from your heart something you really want to share with all the ladies listening now and in the future, because these get replayed over and over again. And so just go ahead and share from your heart.
Um, I just want to say that it's wonderful to know that we have a woman like Clarissa Moshoni and the other angels here that actually care, actually want us to succeed, and not being catty like other women, or there's a love, there's a passion, there's an integrity about it, that it's amazing, and you will see results. I would never have thought I would have lost 46 inches in 7 weeks, ever. Um, I went from an extra large pants to a large pants now, down 2 cup sizes here, and it's amazing. It really is amazing, and it's fulfilling.
Mhm.
And if you have any kind of anxiety about it, just work through the anxiety and talk to Clarice, talk to Shoni, talk to any of them. They will help you. They're your support system. They're your lifeline. Uh, they're great. It's an unbelievable feeling, and I'm gonna get upset. I
Thank
love
you.
it. I really did love it.
Oh, thank you, Yvonne. And it's just like, this is like those moments I always say, like, I know when Rosalinda interviewed her, it's like those moments where it's like knowing truly like we have impacted your life and changed it for better. Like, you know what you need to do. It's not a quick fix. There's not a band-aid on top. Like, you understand what you need to do. You know what to look for when you walk into the grocery store. You understand how you need to eat. You like, this is the biggest thing, like for me, like when I hear you speak, is like, I want like, again, women not to like just like have this like, I give you a fish and you eat for a day. I give you a meal plan, you know, you can follow the meal plan for 2-3 weeks or a month, but it's to teach you how to fish. And
Mhm.
that I know that what you take from this, Yvonne, is for the rest of your life. And to me, this is truly why I do what I do. And I know Oshone's on here, the angels are on here, and it's like, what is the biggest meaning for me is like, if I can change a woman's life for the rest of her life by teaching her something that she knows how to help herself, this is the greatest joy, right? And the greatest purpose. So thank you so much. Like, it really is like, when I hear this, is like, this is why we do what we do, you know? So thank you so much, Yvonne. Awesome. Kathleen, do you have anything to share?
I totally agree with Yvonne. It's just, I would just say, just don't give up. Like, I mean, don't live with no hope. Just take action, have a plan for aging in place. I mean, I work in healthcare, and it's not where you want to be. It's not where any of us women want to be. Like, take action. Like, just don't give up hope. And it's true, like the support of these ladies is unbelievable. And Yeah, I totally agree with Yvonne. Like these guys, like Clarice and Oshoni, just a fount of information, and empower yourself with the information that they give you. And, because then, be good grandmothers, be good citizens, be good people in your community. And you can only do that when you're not living in pain and think, because then I think when you're in pain, you're so self-focused that you can't give. You can't give.
And you
You
just
can't
don't
give
care
to other people.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Pain
So
is just,
yeah,
yeah.
and you think that you're being self-centered by working out and everything, but in turn, but you're not, because you're empowering yourself to give to other people.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I would just say take the jump. I was afraid about finances and everything, but I feel like it's an investment in myself
Yes.
and for me and my family. So thank you so much.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. And it's also powerful hearing from you, Kathleen, because you work in healthcare and you see when people are aging and they don't take care of themselves.
Yeah.
And you said something really powerful. And if anybody relates to this, I want you to put this below is have a plan for aging. That's
Mhm.
powerful. If any of you guys heard that, like put that below, have a plan for aging. All of us are going to age, right? But it is your choice how you choose to age. And if you know you need help in certain areas, I always say this, go and get the help you need. And there is a big difference between cost and investment. Cost
Right.
is going to buy something that's just like fun, frivolous, and it doesn't return anything to you. Investments mean you put money towards something that returns many folds to you over and over and over again. And knowing Yvonne, you have the tools to keep going, and Kathleen, you have the tools to keep going. You have changed your health from the inside out, and you know how to keep it going, because it's not like when the program ends, you don't have another meal plan. No, you actually know how to combine food together. You actually understand what you're looking for. And this like plan for aging, if you're 60 and you live for the next 30, 40 years, you still have 40 years of your life to live. Like, and this is something I always say, like, invest in yourself. Like this comes back so many ways around to be a better, like you said, Kathleen, citizen, a better mom, a better grandma, just a better friend. As all
Exactly.
your friends age and they're declining like crazy, how can you help them with the knowledge that you have learned today, right? And so it is just incredibly powerful, just what the two of you said. And I know lots of comments are coming in. Lisa says, thank you, Kathleen and Yvonne, for sharing your experiences. You're both amazing. I'm so happy for you taking the leap of faith and putting your trust and improved health in Clarice. So she sends her love your way. And Pam says, relate. Thank you for sharing your experience. Greatly appreciate you, ladies. So yeah, and Oshone's on here. She says she's so proud of the two of you and all the FFF ladies. I actually wanted her to come on, like I said, but she's sick and her voice, she can't.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I know your results are largely because of her, and she is amazing. And Oshone, we love you, and we know you've done such amazing job. She cares so deeply for all of you. Yeah. And so thank you so much. And I guess as just a last thing is like, if any one of you that have listened to this live and you're just like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, just like Kathleen said, of all the things you're experiencing, put help or below, or FFF. FFF is the program that they were in, and that we're uptaking right now. And so if you want more help, or you want to learn more about FFF, put that either one of those below. And, we look forward to helping you. And if not, we look forward to serving you in the community as always. But thank you, Kathleen and Yvonne, for just coming on and sharing from your hearts. It makes a big difference. And I know that it's not just today, because I look at these lives like investments as well. What we say today, 1 month from now, 2 months from now, a year from now, someone watches this live who is hopeless, who is in pain. Maybe their doctor might have said something like, you're just in menopause. That's just what it is. I've heard that before, that they can go, you know what, I have hope. I know something can change. And so I appreciate you guys taking your evening to be here tonight. And
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you,
them.
Clarice.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're welcome. All right. Thanks everyone. And we will see you next week. Okay. Thank you,
Okay,
Kathleen.
bye. Have a good night.
Bye.